What if that elephant-headed statue you see sitting in over, like 1,000 yoga studios or museum exhibits, isn't actually a mythic god at all?
Right, what if it's something entirely different?
Exactly. What if it's an ancient, literal blueprint for the physics of the universe? I mean, you usually just walk past these cultural artifacts, maybe read the little bronze plaque and file them away as folklore.
Yeah, they just feel fixed in the distant past, like they don't apply to us now.
Right. But today, for you listening, we are basically blowing the dust off those museum plaques and stepping into a completely different reality.
We really are. It's a huge paradigm shift.
It's massive. We're pulling from this fascinating stack of sources that just completely reframe one of the most recognizable figures in Eastern mysticism, Ganesha.
And we are going on a deep dive that totally shatters that traditional imagery.
Yeah, we're setting out to understand this figure not as like a character in a story, but as the ultimate cosmic frequency and the guardian of universal energy. I mean, it is epic, it is highly cinematic, and it genuinely has the power to permanently change how you interact with your reality.
It does, because, approaching these ancient texts and symbols as structural blueprints for universal energy, it fundamentally alters their value.
It takes it out of the realm of just fantasy. Right.
Exactly. Rather than just literal mythology, the depth of what these sources communicate is staggering. We are diving into the actual mechanics of the cosmos here.
Okay, let's unpack this because the visual of Ganesha is incredibly iconic. I mean, almost everyone has seen the elephant-headed deity.
Sure, it's globally recognized.
But the sources immediately hit us with a concept that just destroys that literal interpretation. The text explicitly states that Ganesha is the physical embodiment of the universe's primal sound, the sacred Om.
Yeah, which is a massive conceptual leap.
It is. We are no longer talking about a being, we are talking about the physical representation of a vibration.
And to grasp the magnitude of that claim, we have to look at what Om actually represents in this framework.
Right.
It's considered the energetic baseline of all existence.
Yeah.
I mean, before matter forms, before planets or stars coalesce, there is frequency.
Just pure vibration.
Exactly. There is a foundational, primal hum of the cosmos out of which all physical reality emerges. So when the texts say this figure is the embodiment of Om, they are illustrating the purest, most foundational energy state of the universe.
Let's ground that concept a bit, because primal hum can sound a little abstract or overly mystical to some.
It can, yeah.
But modern astrophysics actually points to something incredibly similar. I mean, scientists can measure the cosmic microwave background radiation, which is its literal static.
Like the leftover energy.
Yeah, a leftover hum from the Big Bang that permeates the entire observable universe. It is the literal energetic baseline of existence.
That's a really great way to look at it.
So, thousands of years ago, these ancient texts were describing the universe not as a collection of rocks, but as like a symphony of frequencies. And Om is the anchoring note.
That parallel to the cosmic microwave background is a perfect bridge. It really moves the conversation from abstract spirituality into the realm of measurable reality.
It makes it tangible.
It does. It lays the groundwork for understanding the law of attraction and universal energy as physical laws, rather than just wishful thinking. Reality is a symphony of frequencies interacting, and this archetype represents the ultimate stabilizing frequency.
Okay, so knowing that this is a frequency is one thing, but to understand how the physical embodiment of a sound actually impacts you, the listener navigating your career, your relationships, your daily life, we have to look at what this specific frequency actually governs.
Right, what does it do?
Exactly. And the sources highlight something profoundly specific. They refer to Ganesha as the guardian of the golden flow frequency.
The golden flow frequency. I mean, that phrase alone commands attention.
It sounds like the ultimate cheat code for reality, right? The text describes it as a powerful cosmic vibration designed specifically to align our inner energy with universal abundance.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the actual mechanics of abundance are widely misunderstood.
Oh, completely.
Society conditions us to view abundance purely as an external event. A massive promotion, a windfall of money, the perfect partner walking into your life.
Like it's just luck.
Right. We view it as something that happens to us. But in the context of this cosmic vibration, abundance is a state of resonance. It is an energetic frequency you align with.
Meaning the abundance isn't being withheld by some gatekeeper, it's always flowing, and the only variable is whether or not our internal dial is tuned into it.
That's the perfect way to visualize it.
I like to think about the universe as a giant, incredibly complex radio dial. Right now, on any given day, we spend the vast majority of our time just listening to static.
So much static.
Yeah, the anxiety about a presentation, the stress over bills, the endless doom scrolling, it's just the chaotic background noise of obligations.
And we just sit there twisting the knob.
Exactly, trying to hear a clear melody through the deafening white noise. But tuning into the golden flow frequency is like finally locking onto that crystal clear station. The music suddenly aligns perfectly with your vibe.
You didn't have to force the radio station to exist.
Right, you just had to find the frequency, and instantly your inner energy shifts to match it.
Because when two frequencies match, they amplify each other through a process called resonance.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, you are actively shifting your internal state, your thoughts, your emotional baseline to harmonize with this cosmic vibration of success and clarity.
Okay, I'm with you on the radio dial, but let's follow the logic here for a second.
Yeah.
Let's say I've tuned my dial to this golden flow. I feel great. But I still have a massive, terrifying deadline looming at work tomorrow. Tuning my frequency didn't magically delete the deadline, you know? It didn't pay my mortgage. So what actually happens to the real world friction?
Well, that friction is exactly what leads into Ganesha's most famous global title across multiple cultures.
Which is?
The remover of obstacles.
Okay, wait. I need to push back here, though. Wait, so it's less about a magic wand moving a giant boulder out of your physical path and more about shattering the internal self-doubt that made you think you couldn't climb over it in the first place.
Precisely. Because if your car breaks down on the highway...
Right. That is a highly physical obstacle. That's a broken transmission, not just a bad mood.
Yes, a broken transmission is a physical fact. But the obstacle, the panic, the suffering, the feeling that your entire week is ruined...
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the paralysis that prevents you from finding a creative solution that is entirely an internal energy problem. And the sources are careful to emphasize this distinction.
So the remover of obstacles is vastly deeper than just clearing the road.
Exactly. It's about destroying the mental blocks and negative energies that cause you to stagnate in the face of a challenge.
Oh, okay, that makes so much sense. The boulder on the road is just a rock. My reaction to it, deciding that this rock means I am a failure or that the universe is out to get me, that is the actual obstacle.
We constantly externalize our friction.
We do. We blame the traffic, the boss, the economy. We see a challenge and instantly project our limiting beliefs onto it.
Turning a simple flat tire into an existential crisis.
Exactly.
And when a driver panics over a flat tire, their cognitive bandwidth literally shrinks. They enter fight or flight mode.
Right, you can't think straight.
You can't remember who to call, you get angry, you make poor decisions. But by tuning into the primal frequency, you are destroying that internal panic.
It's like resetting your system.
And when the sources use a violent word like destroy to describe the removal of these mental blocks, they are painting a picture of cinematic epicness.
Oh, I love that.
This isn't a gentle bypassing of a problem. This is the absolute annihilation of the static. It is the destruction of the illusion that you are isolated, helpless, or separate from the golden flow.
That reframes the entire concept of obstacle removal. It makes it an active, intense, internal process.
It really does.
And when you confront and annihilate that self-doubt, the text says you are invoking absolute wisdom and acting as the ultimate opener of ways.
Notice the deliberate sequence there, too. The absolute wisdom comes before the opener of ways.
Right. The realization has to happen first.
Because the wisdom is the realization that the true obstacle was just a knot in your own energetic frequency.
Wow.
Once you regain your cognitive bandwidth and achieve that wisdom, the way naturally opens. You stop kicking the broken car in anger and calmly find the solution that was, invisible a moment ago.
The boulder was real, but the impassable wall was just a shadow cast by your own fear. That is wild.
It shifts everything.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because making this profound internal shift from paralyzing panic to absolute wisdom, it doesn't just happen because we want it to.
Right, we need a method.
We need a manual. And the sources reveal that the blueprint for exactly how to achieve this state is hidden in plain sight.
It's literally encoded into Ganesha's physical anatomy.
Yes. The physical anatomy transitions from just like mythological art into a highly practical psychological and spiritual diagram.
Every single feature is a directive.
Okay, let's break down this diagram. The text points to two very specific physical attributes, starting with the large ears.
Which are so prominent in the imagery.
Exactly. These aren't just biological features of an elephant. They are a specific directive to listen to the silent frequencies of the universe.
And the term silent frequencies is a deliberate paradox. It's designed to short-circuit your normal way of thinking.
It's brilliant because it forces you to stop and ask, like, how on earth do you listen to silence?
It sounds impossible at first.
Right, but bringing it back to our modern reality, it makes perfect sense. It's like wearing noise-canceling headphones for your soul.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Yeah, you have to actively, intentionally filter out the loud, chaotic distractions of daily life. The loud opinions of your coworkers, the constant buzz of notifications.
The relentless shouting of your own inner critic.
Exactly. You have to mute all of that so you can finally hear the subtle, profound signals the cosmos is actually sending you.
And the distinction between passive hearing and active listening is critical here.
How so?
Well, in our modern environment, our senses are under constant assault. We passively hear noise all day long. But listening to a silent frequency requires a complete inward turning of attention.
Okay, that makes sense.
The large ears symbolize a heightened, almost superhuman capacity for receptivity. You stop broadcasting your anxieties into the world and you start receiving.
You tune into the subtle, energetic currents.
Yes, the intuitive nudges that actually guide the golden flow.
So you are prioritizing the whispers of your intuition over the shouting of your fears, which, I mean, is incredibly hard to do when you are stressed.
It's very difficult.
But it's absolutely necessary if you want to find that clear radio station.
And that deep receptivity leads directly into the second physical attribute the sources highlight.
The big head.
Yes. What's fascinating here is how the text states the big head represents boundless intellect and the infinite possibilities of the cosmos.
But we need to redefine the word intellect to understand this blueprint, don't we?
We absolutely do, because in modern Western culture, we generally equate intellect with data storage and processing speed.
Like, how many historical facts can you memorize? How efficiently can you optimize a spreadsheet?
Right. But in the context of universal energy, boundless intellect has nothing to do with rote memorization or analytical speed.
So it's not about being the smartest person in the boardroom who knows all the trivia or can recite the quarterly earnings from memory.
Not at all. It is about the capacity of your consciousness to expand.
To be open.
Yes. It is your ability to hold the concept of infinite possibilities. If you're going to tap into the golden flow frequency, your mind has to be vast enough to contain the frequency of universal abundance.
That is a big concept to hold.
Think of a mind trapped in fear, rigidity, and limitation. That mind is too narrow. It literally cannot contain the expansive frequency of abundance.
It bounces off.
Exactly. The big head is a structural metaphor for a consciousness that is expanded beyond self-imposed boundaries.
It is paradigm expansion. Let's say you are in a situation where your entire industry is shifting and your current business model is failing.
A very common modern stressor.
Very common. A narrow intellect looks at that and sees a dead end. Panic sets in. But someone operating with this boundless intellect looks at the exact same failing business model and sees 3 different invisible paths leading forward.
Because they aren't blinded by panic.
Exactly. They perceive infinite possibilities because their mind isn't restricted by the static of how things have always been done.
You've cleared the internal panic. You are using the large ears to listen to the subtle, intuitive trends others are ignoring.
Right.
And your expanded consciousness allows you to perceive the opportunities that were vibrating just beneath the surface the entire time.
So what does this all mean? I mean, we've traveled from the primal Big Bang vibration of the universe to the anatomical diagram of an ancient symbol.
It's quite a journey.
It is. But how do you, the listener, actually bridge the gap between this epic Eastern mysticism and your everyday reality?
Let's talk mechanics.
Yeah, let's talk mechanics. If you are sitting in gridlock traffic, already 10 minutes late for a crucial meeting, how do you activate this?
Well, the sources provide a very actionable conclusion. By actively connecting with this specific energy profile, we invite a golden flow of success, clarity, and unstoppable forward momentum directly into our daily routines.
Okay, let's apply that to the traffic jam. The static is blaring. You are gripping the steering wheel, sweating, cursing the cars in front of you.
We've all been there.
The boulder is the traffic. But the internal obstacle is your soaring cortisol and your panic narrative that you are going to be fired.
Right.
Activating this energy means taking a breath and putting on those noise-canceling headphones. You use the large ears to tune out the honking and the panic.
You recognize that raging against the bumper in front of you changes nothing about the physical world.
Nothing at all. It only destroys your own energy.
And in that moment of quietness, you deploy the boundless intellect.
How does that look in the car?
Instead of a narrow focus on, I am late and doomed, you expand your awareness. You mentally prepare for the meeting.
Right, you pivot.
You formulate a calm, collected apology for the delay. You listen to a podcast that gives you a brilliant idea to bring to the table when you finally arrive. You shift from friction to flow.
That is the ultimate practical mindset shift. Connecting with this energy is just the complete antidote to feeling paralyzed.
The specific phrase the sources use, unstoppable forward momentum, is profound.
It really is.
Modern life is heavily characterized by burnout, mental blocks, and the feeling of wading through wet cement.
You're constantly pushing.
But tapping into this primal frequency provides a completely different type of movement. It isn't frantic, chaotic rushing.
Right.
It is a steady, undeniable progression. When you completely remove the internal friction of self-doubt and panic, forward momentum becomes your default state.
You don't have to endlessly push yourself to the brink of exhaustion.
Exactly. You are simply flowing with the cosmic current.
It's the difference between rowing a tiny boat upstream against a raging river until your arms just completely give out.
Which is how most people live.
Yeah, versus finally turning the boat around and letting the immense power of the current carry you.
You are still steering.
Right, you're still awake and navigating the rapids, but the overwhelming force propelling you forward is the golden flow.
And it requires recognizing that the fundamental energy of the universe is not actively working against you.
That's a huge realization.
When you clear the self-doubt, you understand that the cosmos is structurally designed to support your expansion.
Wow. Let's do a quick recap of this journey because we have covered some massive cosmic territory today.
We really have.
We started by taking Ganesha completely out of the historical, literal box of just being a mythological statue.
Right.
We unpacked the profound reality that he is the physical embodiment of the primal Om, the foundational vibration of existence that echoes through the cosmos.
And we explored his role as the guardian of the golden flow.
A frequency of pure universal abundance that we can actively tune our internal dials to match.
We completely redefined what it means to remove obstacles, too.
Yeah, that was huge. We shifted the focus away from a magical force moving physical boulders toward the active, epic destruction of the internal mental blocks and self-doubt that cause us to stagnate.
And we decoded the practical blueprint hidden in plain sight within his physical form.
The large ears acting as a directive to tune out the chaotic static and listen actively to the silent, intuitive frequencies.
And the big head representing the boundless intellect required to break out of rigid paradigms.
Exactly, so you can perceive the infinite possibilities around us.
It really is a complete step-by-step operating system for shifting your energy, eliminating friction, and opening the way forward.
An ancient operating system for modern abundance. As we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with a final thought.
Something to reflect on.
Yeah, a question to carry with you as you go about the rest of your day, building on the incredible physical symbolism we just unpacked.
Because the application of this blueprint is deeply personal.
If tuning into absolute wisdom requires using your metaphorical large ears to listen to the silent frequencies of the universe... Wait, sorry, let me rephrase that.
Go for it.
If tuning into absolute wisdom requires using your metaphorical large ears to listen to the silent frequencies of the universe, what silent, subtle, cosmic signal in your own life have you been too busy, too loud, or too doubtful to hear?
That's a powerful question. The exact answer or opportunity you've been desperately searching for might already be vibrating right next to you.
It's simply waiting for you to quiet the static.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We wish you immense clarity, a profound connection to the golden flow, and truly unstoppable forward momentum in whatever path you are opening today. Keep tuning in.